All right. Hi, everybody. It's 6 o'clock. Is everyone ready to start our meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the July 13th regular Town of Rhinebeck Board meeting. I'm calling it to order. Would everybody please like to say the pledge?
Sure.
I
I pledge allegiance
to the
to the flag of
of
the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
under God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like a motion to approve our prior minutes of our June 22nd regular town board meeting.
Motion.
Thanks, Alan. May I have a second?
Second.
Who was that, Chauncey?
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. Is there any discussion? Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. I'd just like to make an announcement, although I don't know how effective it will be, that to remind folks that tomorrow we have a special town board meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. It will be available through YouTube on our Town of Rhinebeck website page, and we will be discussing the ORP zoning amendment, the proposed ORP zoning amendment. That's 2 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th. Okay, resolutions. May I have a motion for resolution 2020-156, installing exterior purple lights on Town Hall for the month of August in recognition for International Overdose Awareness and Opioid Addiction Day?
So move.
Thank
Second.
you. Who's seconding? Alan?
Alan. Yeah.
Thanks. Is there any discussion?
No.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Just to let the public know, this will cost the town nothing and is being done by a citizen volunteer and a group. And the town and village halls will be draped in purple for opioid addiction and overdose awareness. So thank you. May I have a motion for resolution 2020-157 for the removal of the General John Quitman historic marker in front of the Quitman House?
Motion.
Thanks. May I have a second? Ed, I think you're muted, Ed. Ed?
How's that?
There
Better?
you go. Yeah.
Now you're there.
Okay.
I saw you flailing to make a motion, but I couldn't hear anything enough. So I think Alan motioned the General John
Yes.
Quitman historic marker removal. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Is there any discussion, any questions? For the public, the Quitman House and our county and town historians have asked us to remove a marker for John Quitman, who did not build the Quitman House. His father built it. So we're removing the John Quitman historic marker. He was also a secessionist and a slave owner, and we're going to replace it with one for his father, who built the house and had his life and career here in Rhinebeck.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. May I have a motion for resolution 2020-158, auctioning the surplus highway equipment?
Make a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Ed. Is that Alan?
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I will make, going to tab 6, I will make a motion for resolution 2020-161 for our budget transfers and amendments. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Is there any questions, any comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I will make a motion for resolution 2020-160 for our capital projects abstracts. It's one check totaling $140. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Thanks, Josh. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I will make a motion for Resolution 2020-159 for our accounts payable abstracts, 67 checks totaling $108,991.61. May I have a second? Anybody?
Second.
Thanks,
Jeez.
Alan.
Guys are asleep at the switch.
Yeah.
Are there any discussion, any questions? All in favor of paying our bills?
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? So moved. I have a piece of new business I forwarded to you earlier today. I'd like to make a motion for a resolution allowing the training for our town assessor. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Just for everybody, we have budgeted in here money to get our assessors continuing education, but the town board passed a resolution or an amendment to our employee handbook or practices that says that the town board has to approve all continuing education or classes. So this is us approving the budgeted assessors continuing education. It's 12 training credits annually. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Is there any other new business before the town board? Any discussion items? I see we
Yes.
have the use of certain recreation facilities, pavilions, restroom fields, basketball
Right.
courts. Okay. Do you want me to tell you where we are with the governor, or do you want to talk?
No, go ahead and I'll,
So the governor is allowing us to have, I guess it's low and medium impact sports. We have taken the chains off our tennis courts, I believe our basketball court, although I'm not sure, and our fields are open and they're allowed to be used for local practices at the public's discretion. We're not doing any additional cleaning or sanitizing, but any local teams can use our fields to practice. I don't believe that competitive sports and leagues are allowed yet, and we have not put out porta potties, nor will we with it this summer.
Right.
There's no way we can keep them germ-free. As for pavilions, since we're still required to keep public gatherings under a certain number, and there's no way for us to control that, I recommend that we don't rent out pavilion space
Yeah,
until we're fully open.
yeah, I agree with you, particularly given the fact that there won't be any restroom facilities. Yeah, the field, there are only two things you didn't cover. One is there's a volleyball net up, but it needs to be replaced. And we're looking at an expense under $150 to replace the
Is
net.
volleyball allowed? Is that in a low or medium impact sport,
Yeah, I
or
mean,
is that like basketball?
it's like tennis.
No, it
No,
may
no.
not be. There's enumerated lists of sports.
Okay. Well, it's probably lower risk than basketball, and I don't.
Well, before we say probably, let's just refer to what the governor said to us. So,
Okay.
all right.
All right, I will. The other thing is that there's a proposal from Carrie, the acting recreation director, for a number of activities. And one of the things is a scavenger hunt. I've already talked to her about the fact that we can't offer cash prizes, but we certainly can offer some publicity to the winners. I just want to make sure it's okay with you guys for them to go ahead, because
Well, we need a resolution. We need to pass a resolution, and
Okay.
I don't,
All
maybe
right,
you
so-
can get that ready for our special meeting tomorrow.
I will. Okay. Well,
Is that all right
just-
with you guys? Or do you want to discuss it more?
Well, let me just go through the list real quick.
Okay.
One of the things they want to do is activity bags that would be available for our costs, which would be roughly $10 a bag once a week. We'd have to pay some staff to put them together, but it's all outlined in the proposal I sent you. That's another thing we could do. And then we're looking at maybe trying to get speakers either to do something for kids over a Zoom call or perhaps in person with the right kind of social distancing on the grass, let's say, in one of the fields.
And we're not charging for any of this, right?
The only charges that we're talking about is for the activity bags that they pay.
So are we limiting this to Rhinebeck residents, to taxpayers?
We could, but it's a little bit hard to do because basically what we do is set up a car with this stuff in the trunk and have people come by and hand us.
I'm not concerned about the gift bags. I'm concerned about the classes that we're giving.
The rest of it would be for no cost. People would just get on Zoom.
Are we allowed? We're funding this. Are we allowed to give this away free to non-taxpayers is what I'm asking.
I think so. I'll check with, is Warren going to be on the call tomorrow?
Well, but we decided before then. You should,
Well, I don't see any way to enforce something like that. You give out a Zoom number, an ID to people that are interested. They can
I just posed the question, can we give away town resources to non-residents? I don't know.
Well, if the residents are, or excuse me, if the talks, let's say we're talking about talks, if the speaker doesn't have any expense associated with it, then and the Zoom call doesn't cost anything, then there is virtually no town expense other than for the administration of.
I looked at Carrie's proposal and we're considering funding maybe around $6,000-7,000 for staff expenses. And then she's proposed several, one-time classes, I don't remember what they are. So we would be paying for that.
What I told her was to go find a speaker and then we'll have a resolution to approve that whatever expenses are associated with that speaker, probably none, but let's say there are. And then at that point, we can decide who to make it available to.
All right, this isn't the proposal that I got from her because she had proposed about 5 activities.
I know. I think
yoga, I don't know, mad science.
Right.
So we would be laying money out for that. But
the problem, and maybe Fred can help us here, I don't know any way to restrict who gets access via Zoom. We could certainly somehow.
I thought that her proposals were in person with social distancing.
I know, well, we talked about that. I don't think that's practical.
Oh, so I haven't seen this new proposal. I thought she had proposed something in person at the park.
Right. Well, what I asked her to do is get specific people, specific costs for specific programs, and then we'll talk about how to do them.
Okay.
Okay. But we don't have any, all this is basically concept as opposed to details. And when we get the details, we can say, oh, we'll do this one on the lawn, or we'll do that one on Zoom, and this one is free, and that one has a charge. And if it has a charge, we have to figure out how to restrict it to, or if it's free, rather.
Or if we need to, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we don't have enough information to approve
Right,
anything.
exactly. Yeah. The only thing I'd like to do, and I'll do it tomorrow, is get a new volleyball net, and I'll.
Volleyball is high risk, as per the.
Volleyball's not allowed, Alan.
Okay.
The net should be down.
No.
Okay, and therefore neither is basketball.
Football, wrestling, ice hockey,
Tennis.
rugby, basketball, contact lacrosse, competitive cheer dance, and volleyball are all high risk activities.
Okay. Did you say basketball is high risk or not?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to lock the basketball court.
I think it still is locked, but you need to check with Bobby.
I'll make sure it is. Okay.
Badminton, racquetball are not high risk, they're moderate risk.
How about pickleball?
Oh, that's very high risk.
I
A
thought
league
so.
of its own, yeah.
It is not.
It's dangerous. It's
The
dangerous.
accidents alone.
It's been allowed for a little while and it's being played regularly, not by me, but by others.
All right, so that's, okay, I have one other discussion item.
Okie
I
dokie.
It has to do with the cemetery, the fact that there's somebody interested in buying well over 100 lots. Basically, what I came up with talking to Suzanne Kelly, the cemetery administrator, and the committee, is that if somebody wants to buy 50 lots or less, that should be okay without any other approval. If people want more than 50, that should come to the town board with a recommendation from the committee based on where the lots are and what's available. And, but not who the buyer is. It's just simply, does this work with the way the cemetery is laid out?
Alan, she's writing up the resolution, right?
Yeah. But that's the gist of where we're going.
Okay, well, I'm happy to, whatever the cemetery, they're a really dedicated committee.
Yes, they are.
See what they have to say.
Okay. And I sent you, also, while I've got the floor, I sent you a copy of the beginning of a bunch of fact sheets, or a fact sheet on the court consolidation.
Yep,
Which-
we'll go through that and add to it.
Yeah, and I'm talking to the lady from LaBerge tomorrow.
Great, she's wonderful, very
Yeah.
knowledgeable. All right, the rec thing, there's nothing to approve. I think it would be great if we could offer something to kids.
Yeah.
I know people are going.
I'll get specific proposals.
All right, anything else?
No.
No more, we've taken care of everything? Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Okay, everybody, thank you. Good
You're
night. See you
welcome.
later.
Thanks. Good night.
See you tomorrow.